Okay, everybody, it's Thursday today, and we are ordering fractions. Okay, we're going to start something new to do with fractions today for the next 2 days, and we are ordering fractions. Okay, and our aim is I can order fractions with denominators that are all multiples of the same number. And the other success criteria is in order to be successful with our aim, I can order fractions with the same denominator by looking at the numerator, and I can find the lowest common denominator to order fractions with different denominators. Now that success criteria might sound a little bit confusing right now, but hopefully by the end of the presentation you will understand what we mean. So remember our aim: ordering fractions with denominators that are multiples of the same number. Okay? Let's start off just getting our heads together. What fraction of the circle is blue? Is it 2/3, 2/4, or 4/5? Hopefully you said, whoops, 2/3. Okay, hopefully you said this one. Yep, because even though there's 6 of them, okay, the equivalent fraction would be 4/6. And you can convert that down to 2/3. What fraction of the rectangle is blue? Is it 4/6, 3/5, or 4/10? So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 10 squares in total, so it's something out of 10. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue. So the fraction would be 6/10. And the equivalent fraction for that would be, is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. It is 3/5. That would be the equivalent fraction. How about this one now? Have a think about this one. I'll give you 20 seconds. What fraction of the triangles are blue? Is it 5/8, 2/6, or 3/4? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 in total. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are cut. So it's 6/8. 6/8. Is there an equivalent fraction for 6/8? Is it this one? Can't be this one because it's 6/8, not 5/8. Is it 2/6? No, of course it is 3/4. 3/4. It's the same as 6/8. Okay. Another one, I'll give you 20 seconds. Think about which one it might be. Okay, so count them out and then work out the equivalent fraction. Okay, if we have a look here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares, and 1, 2, 3 of them are blue. So the fraction is 3/9. 3/9. So what would the equivalent fraction be? 3/9. Wouldn't be this one because it's 3/6. That's not right. Wouldn't be 1/9 because it's 3/9. But we know the equivalent fraction would be 1/3. Well done. If you got that one correct. Now, we're looking at ordering fractions, okay? So for example, if I give you a group of fractions just like this, how do you know which one's biggest and which one is smallest, okay? So I need you to order them from the smallest to the largest. Have a think about what they would be. You can write them down on a bit of paper if you want. So have a look at these: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fractions. Can you compare the numerators, the top number, to put these fractions from the smallest to the biggest? Give you 20 seconds to do that. Smallest to biggest. hopefully, the first one that you've gone for is the smallest, 1/10. Then 3/10. Then 4/10. Then 5/10. Then 6/10. Then 9/10. I don't know why that's gone there. That's wrong. That's round the wrong way. That's meant to be here. I think it was just that's a problem with the presentation. But that should be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Okay, that should have been pretty easy. Okay, but what happens now? Oh my goodness! How on earth do we put those in the correct order? Because all the fractions are different. But the denominators all are multiples of the same number. Okay, so let's look here. To put them in order from smallest to largest, we need to change them all to the same denominator by looking for the lowest common denominator. This is the lowest common denominator of 3, 6, and 12. Okay, so you're looking for the number that we can multiply these numbers to get to. Okay, which is 12. So this one is the biggest number here, down here, but it's actually the smaller fraction. That's why it's called this one here. So what you do, okay, is you times the fractions. So for example here, we have to times these fractions to get to 12. Okay, so what have you got to times 3 by to get to 12? You've got to times it by 4. Okay, so then what you do is you times 3 by 4 to get to 12, and whatever you do to the bottom one, you must do to the top. So then this fraction becomes 4 over 12. Because look, you've times this one by 4 to get to 12, because 3 times 4 is 12. And because you've times that one by 4, you have to times the top one also by 4 to get to 12. Okay? And then you end up with 4 over 6. And then let's look at the next one here with 1/6. Okay? We need this to get to 12. So how do we get this to 12? By timesing it by 2. Okay? Because 6 times 2 is 12. Okay? And remember, whatever you do to the bottom one, you have to do to the top. Same with this one here. What have you got to do? How do we get this one to 12? 2/3. How do we get 3 to 12? Times it by 4. Okay? 3 times 4, 12. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Then, this one you don't need to touch because it's already 12. We want to get this one to 12. So, 6 times 2 gets it to 12. So this one also needs to be times by 2. Okay, so now look. 1/3 becomes 4/12. 1/6 becomes 2/12. 2/3 become 8/12. 5/6 becomes 10 over 12. Now this is really easy to order, okay? Because you just do it again. You look at again the numbers. For example, look here. So we can go. That's much more complicated, okay? When you have to do it that way. But here you can just write, because you know the order, right? So then you can just put it in the correct order. For example, 2 over 12, 3 over 12, 4 over 12, 5 over 12, 8 over 12, 10 over 12. It becomes much easier. Okay? I'll talk you through this one again, how to do. We're looking at all these fractions. Goodness, that looks so complicated. How do we do it? Let's look for the lowest common denominator. Okay, the lowest, which it's the biggest number fraction, but it's actually the smallest fraction in real life. Okay, and all these numbers, we need to look for a number at the bottom that all of these numbers that can be divided into. And that is 16. Okay. So we know that 4, okay, 4 and 8 need to be multiplied to get to 16. Now what do we have to multiply 4 by to get to 16? Hopefully you're saying 4, because hopefully you know that 4 times 4 is 16. So we have to times this one here by 4. And if we times the bottom one by 4, we have to times the, hopefully you're saying top one by 4. Okay? Then we have this one here, 3 over 8. What do we have to times 8 to get to 16? Hopefully you're saying 2, Mr. Denham, 2. So if we times the bottom one by 2, what do we have to do to the top one? Times it by 2. Okay? Then we have that fraction. Then what about this one? What do we have to times 4 by? We've already done it. So times it by 4. 4 times 4, 16. 1 times 4, 4. So we've got that fraction now. Do we need to touch this one? Because it's already got 16. Hopefully you're saying, no, Mr. Denham, of course we don't touch that one. And then we get to this one. What have we got to do to this one? We've got to get it to 16. How do we do that? Timesing it by 2. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So look here, timesing by 4 there. Timesing by 2. Timesing by 4. Timesing by 2. And then hopefully, look at that. We're changing them. So we've changed those fractions. As you can see here, we've kept this one the same because it's the lowest common denominator. It's the highest one here, look, the highest number that they all divide into. And we haven't changed this one. This one is 7 too. We've changed the other ones. So we can times them, okay? Because we know that this 8 times 2, 16. 5 times 2, 10. Now they're all 16. Isn't that super easy to order? Now they're all 16. Hopefully you're saying, yes, Mr. Denham, they're super easy to order now. Yeah? From the smallest to the biggest. Okay, and this one here was 1 over 4. But we times that one by 4 to get to 16. So 4 by 4 to get to 16. And we times 1 times 4 to get to 4. So you have to do, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And then you can order it. Much easier after that. Okay? Now, I want you to have a go at these activities. Okay? You can choose the one that you want to have a go at. But I would start off with this one first. Okay? I would start off with this one first. Okay? And what you've got to do is, let's see if I can write on here. That'd be really nice if I could. You've got to look first at these 3 fractions. And it says, can you order them from the smallest to the biggest? Now, this fraction and this 5 over 10 and 7 over 10 are the same. Okay? They've got the same denominator. Yeah? So that you don't have to worry about so much. But what do you need to do to this fraction here? Okay? This fraction, 3 over 5. You have to turn it into, okay? You have to get it to the same, with the same denominator as these fractions. Yeah? You get the same bottom number on the fraction as these ones. So how are you going to get this 5 to become 10? Hopefully you're saying to me, Mr. Denham, of course you times it by 2. And that's exactly right. So let's times the bottom one by 2. What do we get? 10. And if we times the bottom one by 2, yeah, here, what do we do to the top part? Times it also by 2. 3 times 2 is, everybody? 6. And now it's super easy to order these fractions. Okay? This one would be the smallest, then 6 over 10, and then 7 over 10. Super easy after that. So what I want you to do is have a go at that. Okay, I'm going to explain it once more in the class as well, so don't worry if you haven't got it this time. The reason we have these videos is for me to just show you a little bit of what's happening, okay? And then in the class we can do the rest, okay? Because it's a tricky topic, this one, and it's quite hard to explain actually. But I hope that helped a little bit, and then we can cover the rest in the class.